Hi, and welcome to my fifth video based on my book, Women Must Save the World, A Call to Action. And a warning up front that some might find some of my ideas in this video objectionable. And the topic is prejudices and biases. And I maintain that we all have them. It's hard to escape not having them. And usually, many of them start in childhood. So let me give you a couple of mine from my background. First of all, my dad came back after 4 years in World War II from overseas. And he often talked about other countries, used terrible names for people in other countries and organizations. And I listened as a child, and all I could think was, I'm so upset that my dad is so upset. Then I was raised in the Catholic religion and went to Catholic schools. And at that time, we were told that only Catholics can be saved and go to heaven, and that everybody else in the world was going to burn in hell forever. And again, as a child, it was just terribly upsetting to think about all these people burning in hell. And then when I was 20 years old, I went to school in Paris, France. And it was a time of a lot of unrest in the world and in Europe and over the Vietnam War, among other things. And I definitely felt, as an American, that animosity toward me. In fact, one night I was in a nightclub sitting at a table, and two policemen, gendarmes, came in and told me my visa was not valid and that I needed to get out. And I knew my visa was fine, but they made me go out. And I later realized that they did that because they were concerned about potential harm being done in that nightclub. And there had recently been some bombs at outside the American embassy in Paris. So I know what it's like also to be on the other end of that ill will. And then when I was working for a consulting firm, a technology consulting division, we would often go to school with people from all around the world. And before I went to so many classes, I thought Americans were better educated and smarter and were the number one country in the world, and all these big companies. And in those classes, what I found is that many people from other countries were actually smarter than the rest of us Americans in those classes. So those are just a few examples of my biases and prejudices that I have in my life. Okay, and I've worked on most of those. Okay, now I want to talk about some current events. Let's first start with the terrorist attack in the United States on 9/11. Now, almost everyone would agree that was a terrible act. And most people would also say those were horrible, terrible, evil people. And I agree that they were terrible acts. But I'm not so sure about the people. I think their mindset could have been, we are doing the right thing for our God, for our religion. And it may have been misguided, but I believe they consider themselves to be good people. And let's look at the war right now between Russia and Ukraine. Now, I've heard many news people talk about Putin being a thug, terrible, evil man. And certainly invading another country and causing such, harm is evil. That's an evil problem. However, I, again, think Putin I have no idea, he might think, I am doing good. I am doing the right thing for my country. And then even, currently we've got the war between Hamas and Israel. And again, terrible acts done on October of 2023. And yet, I wouldn't be surprised if those people who did those horrible acts, again, didn't think they were doing good for their country, for their religion. So I guess what I'm saying is, first of all, I think it's important to separate the people from the acts. And next, what the United States and much of the world's reaction to these horrors is more horror, more war, more higher defense budgets, and kill those horrible people. And I don't think that's the right answer, because you're never going to wipe out people who believe in their heart of hearts that they're doing good. And going back to the 60s, and Martin Luther King said, war is not the answer. And of course, there have been songs and Marvin Gaye saying, war is not the answer. And I agree with that. And I also believe patriarchal leadership is not the answer. The knee-jerk reaction is, go to war, bomb, increase the defense budget, build more weapons and more scarier weapons. And that's what I don't believe in. And in these videos, I've been talking about changing from patriarchal leadership to feminine leadership. And again, including men who have feminine skills. I also believe that until we change our mindsets as a world, and as an example, that Americans stop thinking that China is the enemy, all of the China, we've got to be sure that they don't attack us and so on. Or ideologies that gay people are aberrations. Until we can get rid of these biases and prejudices, we're going to continue to have a war-like mentality, trying to wipe each other out. And I also feel like the world is upside down right now. You've got a very few people leading governments, companies, and some very, very wealthy people calling the shots right now. And you have the majority of people in the world really wanting a good life for their families and peace. So I think we need to switch things around and get the world together and have something like a peaceful world revolution. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in my next video. Never have we had the kind of technology that could even make that happen. That we could even think about communicating with all of the people in the world and deciding how we want the world to be. So thanks for watching and listening to this video, and I hope you watch my next one. Thank you.